I always think that people somehow forgot about this place, you know. It's so good with no one around. So yeah, don't come here. Don't come here. There's absolutely nothing to see here. Worst location in the Netherlands. Absolutely. By far. By far. So good morning everyone, welcome back to the channel, and look at this absolute madness. So yesterday I did some planning and I scouted a couple of locations with the weather. There was a slight possibility of fog, but I think the only place that I didn't check was the place I ended up in. So yeah, I drove away from home and I didn't see any fog, and normally when you look above all those farmlands, that's a good indication of that there is some fog around, but today there wasn't any. So yeah, this is what I call my little fog magnet. There's always fog here when I think there is going to be fog. So yeah, very happy I went to this place and rewarded with a beautiful layer of ground fog. So it looks like we're in for some absolute epic conditions here. Absolute epic. Look at this fog in this valley here, increasing. You know, this is gonna get crazy. You know, absolute crazy in a couple of minutes. But look at the sky up here. I hope you can see it on this camera. There's a big red sky above here, which looks really nice. And last year I shot this exact same composition. It's actually the first time that I noticed it, but I never was really keen about that image. So I'm just trying to shoot the same image again today with these perfect conditions here. So let me show you on the back of the camera. So you can see I positioned this large tree here on the top of my frame, and then this one next to it, and then the ones in the back, and then you have this stretch of red sky appearing in that top corner there. So I'll probably crop it back to a 16:9 because there's a lot of foreground here, you see, and it's not that interesting. So yeah, I will definitely crop that back to a 16:9. So just taking this shot, f8, I focused here a little bit on the underneath this big tree, and then you will see that everything to the back is also in focus. So magic, absolute magic. And this is even before sunrise, you know. This is crazy. And the nice thing about this area is, let me try to show you, because this is one of those rare positions in the Netherlands where you have a double sunrise. You know, you can stay up top of this hill here, shoot down into this valley that's underneath, but when the sun is getting a little bit too high, you can just walk down there and get on the level of that valley. And what happens then is that the sun hides behind the tree line that you can see in the back there again, and it takes a while before it comes above it and lights up the valley underneath here. So yeah, I always say it's like a double sunrise, you know. you can't do wrong here. Absolute magical location, and once again, no one around. I always think that people somehow forgot about this place, you know. It's so good with no one around. So yeah, don't come here, don't come here. There's absolutely nothing to see here. Worst location in the Netherlands, absolutely, by far, by far. one of the nicest things about visiting the same area over and over again is that you see compositions that you haven't seen before. And it's a sort of a trigger, like not going for the obvious shot, but start looking for something else. And you can see behind me that this fog is rapidly disappearing right now. So I hope it's going to stay around for a while. But it's always like this here, you know, it comes and it goes. But I never found this particular composition before. And I rather like it actually. With this red sky, couple of trees here, that layer of fog coming through the frame. And if I am correct, the sunrise is going to be exactly in my frame there. So yeah, that would be really good. So while I'm waiting for the sunrise, I'm actually seeing new compositions one after another. Right now I've found this one. You see, I've got this tree in the center of my frame, used this one on the left and this one on the right. So 3 completely different shaped trees. You can see that it looks like this on the back of the camera. And I even included here in the foreground a trunk of a tree. I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna crop it like a 16:9, only use this area of the frame with that nice sky. Right now the red in the sky is disappearing, but it was still there just a couple of seconds ago when I started this shot. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do, if I'm going to take like a side light shot with the sun outside of the frame when it's rising, or if I'm gonna shoot towards the sun and use this beautiful red bowl shape as another subject in my image. So not quite sure. I think I'll do the last, you know, include the sun in the first images and then go to the side light images. But oh, this atmosphere and all these frogs and birds that you hear, the ducks flying over. It's so good to be out here. It's so good to be out here. But 4 AM, you know. Oh, it's a hard life. I've decided to take a little pano here during sunrise, and right now these magical colors are appearing there. But I just shot this complete scene here from the left to the right, you know, just making sure that the tripod is leveled out completely, and this one has a leveler here in the base, so it's almost perfectly leveled. And I think I'm gonna have to switch lenses now, because that beautiful light only appears when I zoom into it. So amazing, crazy conditions again. Now, what is it with me and fog, you know? No idea, but absolute magic. So this is the pano, and I'm gonna prepare for some different shots. So the shots are following each other quite rapidly at the moment, but maybe it's quite understandable. But look at that sun now, absolute gorgeous. And there's just one small tree there that I always liked to photograph, but never found the right composition or the right light for it. And right now the sun is perfectly situated right behind that tree. just look on the back of the camera. It looks like this. So you have this tree here with its reflection in the bottom. The only thing I really don't like is that it's a straight line here. And there's actually one duck in that pond, and it's swimming in the opposite direction. So it's about here at the moment, and it's swimming out of the frame. So that is quite a shame, you know. That is quite a shame. So I'm taking this shot anyway. Beautiful golden light in it. Manual focus. F8 to get everything in focus. What more do you want? What more do you want? Absolute crazy. So right now I framed up a rather nice tree, the opposite side of the lake here. I'm using the 150 to 400, so I'm zooming out quite a bit, but I'm killed by mosquitoes here. It's absolutely horrifying. Get out of here. I don't know if you know Photo Tripper like Gavin Hardcastle, a fantastic photographer from Canada, and he always calls this the wave of hatred, you know. Get these mosquitoes out of the way. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the shot. But the sun is just behind a cloud at the moment, so that's a shame. So if the sun appears again and lights up the scene like I'm hoping it to do, this is the shot. So when you're shooting straight into the sun, the autofocus sometimes has major issues with focusing in these high dynamic range scenes. And what I always do, I always switch to manual focus. You know, there's just a switch on the side of the lens, so you can program it in your menu. There's a plane flying over this airport pretty close here. So, but it sometimes is a little bit difficult to see if you get the right focus point on this, yeah, how do you say it, manual focus pot. So most cameras, and at least the OM system and Olympus ones have it, have a magnification function, and I'll show you on the camera later, but it's actually very easy. You just access it, and I programmed it to the button here on the front of the camera. So you can just program it somewhere, and I programmed it to this one here in the bottom. So if I push it, I can select how far the camera magnifies the scene. So right now I'm looking at a 5-time magnification, and I can just real easily slide the focus ring here until it's absolute pin sharp on the needles of those trees. And sometimes it also works to look at the point where the image gets smaller and bigger. You know, if you're out of focus, you can see that the needles are a little bit big, and the closer you get to the focus, the smaller they get, and when you're getting over the focus point, they get bigger again. So especially at nighttime shots, when you're looking at lights for focusing, it always works to aim for the smallest part in the image. So yeah, very easy trick with this magnification tool. Yeah, absolutely worth checking out if you're having some problems with the autofocus. So I found a bit of a different angle on the same tree that I was photographing earlier, but it looks really nice now. The sun came just from behind that cloud, making that fog appear a little bit with that golden light in it, you know, especially when you underexpose a bit. This light comes out, so I'm trying to shoot all these images high res because I'm shooting a little bit underexposed. I'm avoiding the noise with the high res images. So yeah, absolute crazy conditions. The fog comes in, comes out, comes in, comes out. Magical, absolute magical. I can't say anything else. So yeah, this is the shot. You know, manual focusing with the magnification function, like I explained to you. really works well in scenes like this. So right now I'm photographing that small tree there in the back. Some beautiful side light coming on that tree, but it's the opposite side of the sunrise. So you have these soft colors at the moment. But I was constantly hearing a woodpecker, and it's making a call or something, and I just couldn't find it. And it's just sitting in this tree here, right in front of me. So I just took a picture. I think it's actually quite nice. But it appears to me as if it's a juvenile, a youngling, but I'm not 100% sure about that. So if you if you know it, then please let me know. This is the image. I just tried to catch it between all those leaves. You know, if you have the big lens on, just try to shoot an image like this. And now I'm going to walk down here into this area because there have to be some massive light rays here somewhere. You know, it's almost impossible if there are not. So there's also a nice dead tree there that I need a little bit of fog for to photograph it, and right now are the perfect conditions for it. So lots more to shoot. That was the woodpecker, just flew away. So yeah, lots more to shoot today. Absolutely, what a morning, what a morning, again. I don't know what it is this summer. It's the massive amounts of rain that we had, I think, that just produce all this fog during the complete spring. Every day I go out, I have fog, or at least almost every day. So yeah, sometimes I'm quite happy living in the Netherlands. So this is the end of today's video. I'm probably gonna have to cut this video in two pieces because the fog on the open side is almost disappearing and I'm being bitten alive by mosquitoes. You know, I'm bitten here in my face, on my head, my hand here. This blood sucker here even got some blood out of it. You know, it's terrible. You know, I really have to find a solution for that because I just can't handle these mosquitoes anymore. These stings are getting bigger and bigger every year, but with a morning like this, I shouldn't complain, you know, just take it all in, amazing. So what I'm gonna do, as you can see, I'm going into the forest here and hopefully I can continue shooting for a while today and take some more interesting images. So if you like this video, then please push that thumbs up button. You will massively help this channel, and leave a comment. I always like to reply to everyone and talk to some people. Always nice. The best thing about my YouTube channel is engaging with you, the audience, all over the world. And if you haven't already, please push that subscribe button down here. Yeah, who knows where this channel is going to end if all of you who are watching subscribe to the channel. So thanks for watching. Hope to see you next week, and hopefully that's going to be the rest of this video in this beautiful foggy forest here. So see you then. Bye bye.